One time for Symba.
Man, what's happening? What's
Two
happening?
times.
I done made it to the morning hustle.
Yes, you did.
Come on.
Yo, and
Come
this
on.
excitement level is pretty high. I think we've been promoting the fact that we're going to be talking to you for about a month.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because, like, there's very few moments in hip-hop where the culture gets excited at the same time.
Yeah.
There was a few weeks ago, you couldn't flick your thumb on any social media without seeing you murdering a microphone in this studio or that studio and whatnot. And it's refreshing.
Man,
'Cause I
thank
like
you,
rap.
man. I gotta shout out my label, man, Atlantic Records, because they've, a lot of artists kind of bash their labels and always tear their labels down, but mine allowed me time to develop. So 2 years ago, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I had talent. I knew I was gonna be great. I knew I was gonna do something, but they allowed me the time to figure it out and figure out what type of beats I like to rap on and what I want my identity to be. And one thing that they said was, once we drop this project, they love you for the freestyle, so we gon' hit everywhere. It ain't about first week. It ain't about, you know what I'm saying, the street. We gonna go tear everything down. I'm like, come on, let's do it.
And I love that. I think that's so dope because I know you was in a whole nother situation on a whole nother label.
So in the beginning of recording the project, I was just rapping. Just rapping. So I had records like Sacrifices, On God. And then Dallas would come to me because me and Dallas got like a real honest relationship. So I always go to his crib. I bring my son to his crib. Like our kids kick it. And then he just said to me one day, like, how you gonna get people to listen to these raps?
Yeah.
And I was like, what you mean? He's like, people just don't want to hear you rap. We all know you can rap. What's going to be the defining factor to make people want to buy into what you're doing? He was like, you got to rap on records. So he started bringing records like Trust Issues, Soul Ties, Pop Out, like all these different records and different sounds to where it was like, okay, I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I know I could rap. And it's more so just about like what's gonna like he said, what's gonna get people to buy into this thing. So if you listen to the project, me and him came up kind of with a system for it.
It improves the shelf life overall when you got something to say. Now, to the uninitiated, you maybe have appeared out of nowhere like a kaiju and just started killing stuff. However, you do have a history behind you. Let's start with, how did rap find you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Rap found me because I got caught cheating on the SAT test. So I couldn't go play basketball. And they wanted me to go to a junior college and play ball. I thought I was going to the league. And they wanted me to go to a junior college and play ball, and I just lost interest in it. I didn't want to play no more. And my homie, y'all remember Cakewalk?
Like the program?
Yeah, before everybody was on Pro Tools.
And Fruity Loops?
It was Cakewalk. My homie had Cakewalk and his desktop microphone from Walmart. And we used to just go over there and rap. Just rap all day, freestyle all day. So I took some of the like raps we would do to school, and people just start like reciting them and like getting into them. So I'm like, damn, I kind of like this. So my junior year, I got into it with my coach. And I didn't play ball my junior year. I was trying to like prove myself, and I was stubborn. I shouldn't have done that, right? But I was trying to just like, boss up on my coach, and I ended up just falling in love with rap, bro. You know what I mean? Just every day waking up rapping. I ain't have basketball practice. I ain't have nothing to go do as far as hoops, so I just start rapping every day. And I took a liking to it, start battling, start making music. Then I moved to LA. Because I would realize in the Bay Area, like, our music would always hit a ceiling because it was so regional. So I was like, damn, I need to kind of move around and see what's going on. So one time I went to L.A. and I got in the studio with Hitmaker before he was Hitmaker, when everybody knew him as Young Bird.
Yeah.
And he was writing a song for Nicki Minaj and Jeremiah and
He was working on a song for Nicki Minaj.
like literally like going crazy on the song. And I'm not even knowing like what he's doing. I'm just watching him work, but I'm like, damn, it's catchy. Like, it's cold. Like 6 months later, I hear the song on the radio.
It's wild how fast that turn around.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, okay. And I just start hearing Hitmaker on every song that was coming out. So I just hit him up like, bro, I need to come sit in the studio with you. And I go to the studio and just watch him make records. And I start realizing in that moment, like, okay, I got to start making records. I can't just be a rapper.
Right.
People know I can rap. I got a deal on Columbia. It was more so like I took the deal because of a person who I was attached to at the time that got they A&R position up there.
Right.
And I felt like I owed it to her to sign that deal.
That's the worst, yeah.
So I got my deal, and I wouldn't say like it was the worst thing in the world, but you realize fast, as I know now, I wasn't a priority. Yeah. So it's like you just sitting around. You don't know what to do. And it's information in that, because you can learn over time, like everything ain't for your benefit. You know what I mean? Everything it happens to you for a reason, for you to learn and be able to move forward. So I learned like, okay, this is that. So I'm looking through the label, I'm walking through the label every day like, okay, who does this, who does that? Learning people's position. Then I ended up getting out of the deal. So when I met Dallas, I seen like things was a little different as far as how Atlantic moved.
Yeah.
And then being on Atlantic just kind of like made me look at the industry like, okay, this is time for me to kind of become my own thing, more so than like me duplicating what somebody else do. And that's what I was doing on the other label.
Yeah, and I listened to an interview. You basically smartened up your whole situation. Your first advance, you kind of blew it. Yeah. Your second advance, you're like, all right, I'm going to take this money and literally turn this into my business. But that's what I mean
by like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like when you get your first deal, you thinking it's about the clothes, the cars, you know what I mean? Like the jewelry and all that. And then you run through it and you realize like, I can have again. All this. Now you realize like I can have all this, but the music still got to hit.
Absolutely.
The music still got to be good. Like you still got to go put the work in. So I'm like, okay, what I did wrong, I went and bought cars, I went and bought jewelry. So when I got my next deal, I went and bought a camera, I went and bought a laptop, I went and got a studio. And I developed the things that was basically my infrastructure for me to be sustainable.
Like, because you casually mentioned all this dope stuff. Like, you went from recording, like, on shit you record, you know, use Cakewalk to do, now you with Heatmaker.
Yeah.
What was the thing that happened that tipped the scale that, like, put you in the trajectory to even, like,
going to
be
LA.
In that place? So just casually just hanging out, networking, and following up on the networking.
Going to LA, bro, and realizing that I wasn't good enough. Like literally like sitting in certain studios and watching people write records, and I'm like, damn, I can't do that. I could rap. You know what I mean? If they put a beat on, I could write a cold rap, but they in there making Black Beatles and you know what I mean? All these records. I'm like, man, I can't do that. I need to figure out how to do that. So being around it every day just kind of make you like naturally want to learn how to do it. So I had to go get a studio. I had to go get an engineer. I had to get around songwriters. I had to get around producers, not beat makers. Right? Certain producers that let you know. I was in the studio with Grizz for Pop Out, and I was walking around the studio just going,
that song is fire.
I just kept doing that. He was like, bro, what is you saying? And I'm like, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, it sound like you saying pop out. I'm like, all right, I'm saying pop out.
That's what I'm saying, right?
He was like, bro, go say it just like that. He took that, put it as a hook. I'm like, oh.
And you had the perfect feature on that record, 2 Chainz. I
my
like that. Come on now, that wasn't better than that.
That's my big dog. That's my big homie right there.
So I want to rewind and go back to your name. So whenever I say your name or I mention anything with you, of course, everybody's like, oh, you mean from Lion King? Lion King, this, that, and the third. So I did some research and realized it is actually from Lion King.
Facts.
So tell us the story behind your name and why.
It's pretty typical.
Yeah.
I grew up as a kid. That was all of our favorite movie, I'm sure, the Lion King. But I grew up around older cousins and older family members. So they would always go outside and like, we finna go play basketball. We finna go play football. And I was like, I'm finna watch the Lion King. You know what I mean? Right. So they just naturally just start calling me Lil Symba. So when I started doing music, I was like, that's my nickname. That's what I'm gonna run with.
Yeah, and did anybody ever try to talk you out of it?
Yes. Somebody actually did. Who was somebody I'm glad I didn't listen to. Because it was like, you know how you get them people in the music business that like never really done it at a high level but so opinionated?
Yeah.
It was one of them type of people that where he had all these opinions and like nothing to back it.
Is it the person you dissed on your album?
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
No. There was a second person who wasn't really doing nothing to push you along.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people that have come along trying to distract.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you're going to go through that in anything in life. Like if you start a clothing line, if you start a radio station, whatever it be, you're going to go through people telling you, well, you shouldn't do this. You should do it like this because it's their opinion of how you should do what it is you want to do.
Right.
But your heart and your gut going to always tell you what's real and what's true to you.
Did you consider another name?
Never.
Never.
Stick to your guns, homie.
The first name was Young Symba, and I just took the young off. But I never considered like changing my name.
Well, it definitely stands out and rocks, man. Like, and let's talk about some of the tracks on the album, man.
For sure.
There's so many things that stick to your ribs, like, you know, because your storytelling is so vivid.
Yeah.
You know, on Pendant, you know, one of the last tracks on the album, you talk about how losing one of your friends was worse than losing your dad.
Bro,
and that
I lost my closest homie, one of my closest homies. He died out here in Atlanta. New Year's 2020. And that's when I knew 2020 was going to be a rough year. I was literally hanging with like some of my homies and I got a call. Actually, Fee called me. He was like, bro, I think something happened to Bugs. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, something happened in Atlanta. And I'm like, all right, like what happened? And then come to find out, you know, he was in a car with some people and the car got shot up and he died. So we kind of like all had this dream of just like rocking together and like being together. Like he'd be here right now.
Really?
And,
was he a rapper as well?
Yeah, he was a rapper as well. And I felt like I had to make that for him.
Yeah.
That's
I felt
real.
like I had to speak on that for him because that was like one of my closest dogs for real.
So 2020 was a rough year, obviously. And even in the project, you said you feel like the pandemic may have taken your shot.
Yeah, man. You know, it's tough being a new artist because it's like you want to get out and touch the people. Like we was just talking about it earlier when you was like, you don't know if sometimes artists want to come do all this because they knew or they really understand the game. It's like at that point I was new. So it's like I'm trying to get out. I want to meet everybody. I want to touch everybody. And I can't. I go to LA Leakers. I do a freestyle. LeBron posted. I'm going viral. I shoot up like 120,000 followers in 3 days.
Wow.
And can't even do a club hosting. Can't do a performance.
Right.
Like can't do nothing. Like I'm stuck in the house. So I'm feeling like I'm slowly watching my moment go away.
Right.
I'm feeling like my moment then came and like slowly went away and there's nothing I could do about it. So that's why it's important for me, like with this project, to come up here and talk to everybody and introduce myself because I feel like I missed that part. A lot of people, like you were saying earlier, was looking at me like an industry plant. You know, like I just popped up out of anywhere and it was like, nah, I've been here for a minute. I just wasn't able to introduce myself due to the pandemic.
And I can tell you're an energy guy too. Like, you know, whereas like, you know, if people are in your field of energy, they'll have a way better understanding of you than if they're just like reading a press release or something like that. You come across very genuine.
For sure, but that's like with anything, like when you meet, it's nothing like meeting somebody. You could read about a person. You could learn, somebody could tell you something. When you meet that person and see who they genuinely are as a person, it's different. You know what I mean? The minute I walked in here, I felt your energy. So I'm like, we about to have a good interview.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be lit.
Do you feel like that's an advantage or a disadvantage in your situation?
I feel like it's based off the type of artist you are. I feel like what I'm starting to learn is I'm a word of mouth artist, right? I'm not just like a viral thing, right? But shout out to the people who are, because that's what works for them. But for me, I feel like you got to meet me, you got to speak to me, we got to know each other, and you could understand who I am and then hear the music and be like, I get his perspective. Some people music is catered for a platform. You know, they making music to make dances to and get people to do little things too. Me personally, I'm trying to like make something that stick to the ribs. Like I'm trying to make that music to where like when you don't want to get up and go to work in the morning, you put this on and it make you get up.
Right.
You don't want to go to the gym. You feel me? You gonna put this on and go to that gym.
But you go viral though, because you went viral a lot of times, especially with this Funk Flex freestyle.
Shout out to Flex.
Yes, they said it's the #1. They said it's the best freestyle of the year, right? Now, I want to know what your conversation was like with Funk Flex after the freestyle? Because you called him out on the Tupac.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that everybody has probably said, talking to each other, but nobody has actually gone to Funk Flex.
Yeah.
Personally, not only did you say it to his face, but you said it in a freestyle to his face and brung it back and said it again.
Yeah.
So you talked about him dissing Tupac. Did he pull you to the side and say anything about what you said during the freestyle?
He loved it. He loved it. I feel like it was a real hip hop moment.
It was.
I feel like I'm always trying to create hip hop moments, right? Which is something that's missing today. We get a lot of viral moments, right? We get a lot of, A$AP Rocky going viral right now for the mosh pit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
He looked labored.
We get a lot of those, you know what I mean? We get a lot of those, but we don't get like those classic hip hop moments no more.
That's
of
true.
like when Jay-Z went to Hot 97 with the whole Rockefeller.
Speak on it. Or Big doing the freestyle on Flex back in the day. Like, those
it's like
moments.
we don't get those moments no more. So me and the homies, we always trying to figure out like how to create those moments. So when I found out I was going up there, I'm like, man, what's something I could do that could just be a moment?
Yeah.
And anytime I do a freestyle, this is what most people don't understand, because everybody be hitting me like, yo, we want you to freestyle. Like, come do a freestyle. And it'd be like, anytime I do those freestyles, I want to make it a moment.
Yeah.
So I literally go watch every Flex freestyle. I go read every comment. I go to the Instagram pages and see how people react. And by doing that, it shows me what people think.
What makes the noise? Like, what, yeah.
And in every comment, somebody says, Flex always talking about Tupac. Forget Flex for dissing Tupac. So I'm like, I felt that way when he said that about Tupac. So I'm like, I gotta say something about it. But at the same time, I wasn't gonna go up there and disrespect him. He's a legend. Flex done a lot. It's a lot of records and things that blew up because of Flex.
True.
So as a legend in his culture, you can't just go up there and disrespect that man.
And he's sensitive. He's I got into it with Flex twice before.
For real?
Yes, we good now, but we've gotten into it a few times. And like, that's why I was surprised. I'm like, is he gonna cut the beat off at some point? But nah, you said what you had to say.
He rocked. I feel like I worded it in a way
You did.
to where,
it was respectful.
Yeah, it was respectful. I wasn't gonna disrespect him or nothing like that. But I felt like I had to say that, especially being from the West. Pac was a big staple in the West for us. That's the reason I rap. A lot of people on the West rap, so I feel like I had to speak on that for
But
Pac.
you rep the West, but you're kind of also a beast in No Nation, because even when you listen to your tonality, all right, you rep the Bay, but you moved around a lot as a shorty, right?
Yeah.
And little East Coast time over here, over there.
Sir.
But even looking at the differences between the Bay and LA, because a lot of people don't know the difference.
Yep.
Like, how would you explain the energy of the Bay versus the energy in LA?
So in LA, first off, with LA, you gotta understand it's a difference between Hollywood and LA, right? So LA and the Bay is very similar. The only difference is they got Crips and Bloods, right? In gang culture, we more so got like gangs within certain blocks, but it's not like a whole section. But it's kind of becoming that now. But LA and the Bay is similar. Hollywood is where everybody go to chase their dreams. So you get a bunch of people from all over the world that flies into Hollywood and move to Hollywood and all these things, and people look at LA as if it's Hollywood. So they'll look at LA as like this bougie entertainment, sex, drugs, and rock and roll culture, when that's just Hollywood. It's not LA.
Yeah.
So the Bay is more so like, it's kind of like Atlanta. Like you rock with your people more. You know what I mean? You eat at the restaurants you like. You ain't just experimenting too much. And it's the same thing in LA. So the Bay and LA is similar, but Hollywood is different.
It took me a while to figure it out. It took me like 3 trips to go to like LA/Hollywood to start seeing black people that weren't working. You know what I mean? Because like everything is kind of like the Nokia in the area over there. That's one vibe. But then when you start going on like Slauson and Crenshaw and where they do Taste the Soul, it's a completely different.
It's a different
lot
culture.
of love though too.
Yeah, but that's where our people is at. That's where our culture is at. So that's where you're gonna find the soul food, the Caribbean food. Like that's where you're gonna find the culture at. But in Hollywood, it's more so of a melting pot of everything. And the Bay is similar to LA, like as far as food and culture and just, getting dressed and how everybody rock. Like, it's similar.
So who would be, because I know Roddy had this question and you got what's wrong with me? A song together. Obviously, you're single. And he said that the relevant rappers in LA would be Kendrick, himself, and YG. Yeah. Who would you say would be the relevant rappers in the Bay?
Symba, and Symba. Me, La Russell.
Shout out to him.
Rex Life Raj, Lil Kayla, DB About a Bag. It's a few. It's a few, but those the two that Offset Jim, Zay Bang, Lil Bean.
It's a lot we don't know about, too, if you really think about it, yeah.
Have you caught any of the La Russell freestyles?
I heard a couple, yeah.
Explain this movement that's going on out. So is it a weekly event that these guys are doing?
So what La Russell got going is like a residency in his backyard. So he turned his backyard into like a performance place, right? Which is dope because if you think about it long term, it kind of becomes his own Disneyland.
Yeah.
So if you look at it 10 years down the line, he got 400 people showing up every month to watch him perform. 400 gonna turn to 8 gonna turn to 16 gonna turn into 3,000.
All that's crazy,
and it's gonna keep growing. So eventually, he probably gonna end up buying the whole block.
That's
shout out the neighborhoods with no HOA. You know?
Yeah. So it's like what he's done is like started a real grassroots business with his family, and they like literally pressing up their own merch, throwing their own shows. They their own booking agent. They their own digital team. They own marketing team. He got a camera crew. Like they literally running a family business.
It is some of the most organic, authentic hip hop shit I've seen in a long time. And when I found out there was an affiliation between y'all two, it's like, oh, it made sense.
Yeah.
So is this a crew or is this like
Nah, so we just rock with each other.
Okay.
Like we always got this stain on us in the Bay Area that like the Bay Area don't stick together.
Okay.
Right? Or like we don't rock together. So when he started coming up and I started coming up, we was like, bro, the first thing we not gonna do, like that we gonna establish, we not finna be in competition with each other.
Love.
You feel me? We gonna show love. So anything you doing, anything I'm doing, let me know. So if you got a show, I'm coming to your show. If you got some merch, I'm gonna buy your merch. If I got something going on, come to my show. Because we gotta change the narrative of what people say about us. So we been leading with love.
Love to see it.
Okay, and you Jay-Z. Okay, so he's your favorite rapper. That's my favorite rapper.
Jay-Z
too.
and Future.
And Future. Okay, I like that mixture. Yeah. Now, Jay, I know you've said that in a few interviews. People have said, has Jay-Z reached out to you? Have you had any communication? And LeBron James, because I know he was one of the first people to really put you like in the limelight. So have you spoken to either one of those guys?
I talked to my publisher, and we had a conversation about a few things with Hov. I can't really disclose them. But,
but you're invited to the Rock Nation brunch the next one.
I might be there next year. Yeah, I might be there next year. LeBron is like my guy. He came to my show in LA when I did my so we did like these like live listing events for the project. We did one in Los Angeles and one in the Bay Area. And LeBron came to the Los Angeles event.
That's
and
fire.
he also like Rich Paul is my guy. Maverick Carter is my guy. They give me a lot of information, a lot of game.
So best people to get the game from?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. When they was working on Space Jam, the soundtrack, they hit me up like, yo, we want you to do something for this.
Fire.
Me and Chance did a song. They rocked with the song. They was like, yo, we want you to try something else. That's how I ended up with another song in the movie.
That's dope.
So those my guys right there. And shout out to Draymond Green, because he kind of like connected that.
Really?
Yeah, that's my big brother.
So he reached out first and then he put y'all together.
Yeah.
That's super dope. What about Drama? Because obviously we know he's hosting the whole thing.
Yeah, Drama came out last night. We had a show last night. And he introduced me last night, performed the first song with me. I've been knowing Drama for a while as well. It was just early. I wasn't who I am today.
Yeah. So
it took us some time to kind of figure out what it looks like and what it was that we was going to do. But once, I kept developing and, time told the story, we kind of figured out where we was going with it. And we just been building ever since. I told him last night, I'm like a an honorary Generation Now artist.
You know, the reintroduction is strong because like the name is ringing bells. Yo, you got a record, Can't Win for Losing.
Can't Win for Nothing.
Oh, Can't Wait for Nothing.
Yeah.
Got paid on the 3rd, rent due on the 1st.
The grand make me feel worse. They taking trips out to Turks. My
girlfriend
girlfriend mad because her homegirl got a purse for Valentine's Day. All she got was dessert.
You could have said everything, but I mean, but yo, the way you could just take, it's almost like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It's basic things that everybody go through in life, but make it in a way that everybody could connect and relate from. So what is your best method in like, you know, making these records and having these experiences as your schedule gets a little busy?
So now I ain't been in the studio in literally like 5 weeks, right? But every day I'm writing things in my phone.
Okay.
So I'm writing my experiences down because I'm on tour, right? I'm doing my first big radio run, right? I'm doing Flex for the first time. So I'm writing down all the feelings that comes with these things. So when I get back to the studio, I got a list of things that I just went through. And these become the songs.
Yeah. Like, was there
I
a
mean?
record on the album that you had to come back and revisit? Like, it's not there yet. Nah, I need to
Every
say
one.
something else. Really?
Every song.
So there's alt versions of
Bro,
every
I be
song.
writing like 5 different verses to some
That's
beats.
crazy.
Like
get it.
overnight, the intro, that was the 6th version of that beat.
That's a song I feel like everybody could relate to, from a rapper to a janitor.
Yeah.
You know, to anyone, like literally anybody could feel that song right there. And I think that's what makes you special, is that even when, you know, certain artists can make you feel like, well, I can't afford to listen to him. You know what I mean? He's a little too expensive.
Yeah.
And you said you put a lot of your life in there. So I want to get into your love life, because you do talk about women a lot. You got 100 hoes, bitches pulling up with you at the club all the time. How many girls do you have? Because damn it, I counted a lot while I was listening to this album.
I don't know.
Are you in a relationship right now?
That's a question that's a difficult answer.
Why? It's a yes or no, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's difficult, or yes, you have one?
Nah, because I have like a life partner.
Okay.
I have somebody that's like been a supporter of me from the beginning. So it's like, even when I go through my moments, right, and I'm wilding out and I'm doing what I want to do, you know, she allowed me that time to kind of develop. You know, she understand it's a new thing. So I got a life partner, and I got a son.
Okay.
Right? And don't play with my child's mom.
There you go.
You know, don't play with my child's mom. Like that's one thing I could say. But you know, I'm a flirt.
So you be outside still?
I don't be outside like I used to. I be chilling now, but
Really?
Yeah, I can't tell from that smile.
I be chilling.
Don't run into Akon. He'll give you a speech.
I just met Akon yesterday.
Did he give you the
Did he?
speech though? Because he'll
It's
make
so
you
bad.
feel like that
You
you,
know
can
what's
have
crazy?
as many
It's
people as you
bad.
want.
I met Akon yesterday. He called me while we was at the show. I invited him to the show. He called me. He was like, bro, I seen the freestyles. I see all the content. I just listened to the album for the first time. I didn't know you was this great. I swear he called. He was like, bro, this is amazing. He said, I haven't felt music like this in a long time. He was like, I could hear your experiences, and there's certain things you saying that I went through that I know you actually had to go through to be able to word them this way. And he was like, man, as soon as you get off tour, I'm flying you to Africa.
You gonna come home with 4 wives?
Yep, you're about to be a part of the cult.
Who's the most I don't want to say exciting, because that's gonna whatever, but I will say exciting. Person that ever called you that you feel like, because I know Dave Chappelle, you got Akon, you got LeBron James. There's so many names, huge names. Who was you most surprised that reached out to you that you got to hang out with or speak to?
Most surprised. Honestly, Ja Rule.
Really?
Ja Rule called you?
Ja
What did he
Rule.
say?
We talk a lot.
Yeah, really.
we talk. I just talked to him the other day. He was on Jalen and Jacoby and said I'm his new favorite artist. But I grew up just like riding in my car with all the girls listening to Ja Rule. Like Ja Rule made them like duet records.
Yeah.
Right, so I'll be riding with the girls and I'll be, where would I be without you? Right, and then they'll be reciting it.
Right.
So I grew up on them records, man, and grew up on them fun times. So to see him just kind of like embrace me, of course, you know, you get like the Dr. Dre's and the Kevin Durant's and the LeBron James and Dave Chappelle's. Them is like iconic moments to where you kind of cry in the car on the way home.
Right.
You know, but Ja Rule is like, that's my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my dog. Like, I used to listen to all his music. Like, so that was real like motivating.
What's
for
some
me.
dope advice he's giving you? Don't throw a fire festival? No,
Wow.
I'm joking.
See,
I had to admit.
John ain't had nothing to do with that.
He was just there.
That was
man.
the other man, not the brother man. But something that Irv and Ja taught me that was, I would say, like, don't be so stuck in your ways of what you want to hear.
Okay.
Like, understand, like, the people and the fans might not like what you like. So always do what you believe in as an artist, but at the same time, give the people something to listen to. Get them something to rock to. Get a female something to get dressed to. That's where records like Soul Ties come from. And Trust Issues. And if you listen to my last project, Don't Run From Rap, it's a record called We Tried. That record happened from a Ja Rule conversation.
Say word.
Yeah.
You utilize everything that happens and make, you know, just really great material out of it.
Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself in a position where you felt like keeping it too real maybe costed you a bag? You know, 'cause
Nah.
like, okay.
Nah, I feel like we in an era today, bro, where it's like, it's an open book. People want to know who you are. Like, I remember being a kid, man, and like watching these interviews, and it's like people would say, stay focused, stay consistent, right? And they give you these cliche answers. But today, it's like you could actually go into somebody's life and see how they did it. So the more real you are, the more information you giving up for the next person to get it right. And that's what attached them to you, because you like a blueprint for them. So it's a lot of artists where I come from that feel like, you know, the Bay, we got that hyphy stain on us. You know what I mean? Where they think all Bay Area artists is hyphy. Now it's a lot of artists like, bro, I could really rap. You know, and they looking at me as an example, like, okay, he did this, he did that. So I gotta share my story and keep it real, because that's the information that gives them the blueprint to get it right.
Nah, you belong to the world now. You know, I don't think people like, you know, or they're going to look at the Bay in a completely different way. Now, the album is called Results Take Time. I want to do a lightning round situations with you.
Okay.
It's called Time or No Time. I'm going to throw some things out there. Feel free to throw some in as well.
Okay.
And let us know if you got time for it or not.
Okay.
OnlyFans models.
Time.
I could have answered that for you.
Video games.
Time. I'm learning to have time for video games.
Okay. School teachers with BBLs.
Time.
Reality TV.
Hold on. Go back to that. Could you imagine if your teacher had a BBL?
You know,
You would want to go to class every day.
absolutely. I feel like because like similar to bus drivers, teachers sit so long. A lot of times they get that spread going on. So it's almost
Imagine
like
them just writing
Oh
on
my
that chalkboard. Like,
and
you
they turn
gonna want
around
to
and
go to
they erase
school.
everything they wrote.
Yeah, you're going to want to go to school. It makes you want to go to school.
Nah, the cute teachers have my
Shout out
attention.
to the teachers with BBLs.
Okay, reality TV.
No time.
All right, white ghostwriters writing pro-black music.
Damn.
That was a lot.
No time.
Now, as a ghostwriter yourself, have you ever had a hard time?
Matter of fact, time.
Okay.
Time. I'm going to change that, because I grew up around a lot of white kids who had the same experiences as me.
Okay.
Right? And they come from the same background as me. Like I said, in the Bay, in California, is very diverse. We got a lot of black people. So I grew up around a lot of white kids that struggle, and they might not know how it feels to be black, but they understand the struggle we go through. And that don't mean that they can't recite something on paper for somebody else to say. I don't know.
Got you. But
That's a tricky question.
As a ghostwriter yourself, though, have you ever had a hard time writing for somebody who you just really couldn't relate to their life, and you maybe had to dig just a little bit deeper?
Nah, I left the studio.
And never
So you're not
returned?
doing it no
It
more.
was one time I was in the studio with this girl, and one song she was Megan Thee Stallion, the next song she was Rihanna, the next
Lord.
song she was Beyonce, the next song she was this, and I'm like, all right, which one are you? So we could write the song. And she's like, I'm all of them. I'm
Oh,
a star. I'm a
Lord,
diva.
okay.
I'm like, all right, you know what? This ain't for me. I'm gonna get on up out of here. So
Have we probably heard music from this person?
yes, I'm not gonna say the name, no. I'm not gonna say
drop your answers in the comments.
I'm not gonna say.
But you did say that you eventually wouldn't mind using a ghostwriter because you got a lot of things to do that's going on. But is that a lot of pressure for you when they are calling you the best lyricist right now?
Nah, because I'm always write my verses and write my lyrics, even like with having people send ideas, right?
Yeah.
Right now, we at the morning hustle, right? Right now, it's somebody in the studio working, right? If he got an idea or a hook or a concept that I like, I'm going to take that concept and I'm going to format it into what's for me.
Right.
That don't mean he's about to write the
your
whole record
verse.
for me.
And that's where
I
people
just
get
might
confused.
like the concept
Right.
and might like something he said in the hook to where I could take it and make it work for me. So that's really all I was saying is like I said, I ain't been in the studio in 5 weeks.
It seems like the greatest albums in the world have all been collaborative efforts. You
That's
know,
the
it's
best
not
music
one
in the
person
world.
doing it alone.
Can't nobody do nothing alone. That's why I hate when people say self-made. You ain't make your shoes. You ain't make your jeans. You ain't make the money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody self-made. We all like here to collab with each other and expand.
So outside of music, we know you know how to play ball real good, and there's a lot of other artists out there that could play, like Chris Brown, Quavo. You know, do you feel like you could take them on? Like who they say is the Jack Harlow's real good too. Do you feel like you better than Tory Lanez? You feel like you better than all of them?
Tory wouldn't score a basket if we played.
So you calling them out? Is that like,
Tory,
I want to know?
Tory my guy too. Shout out to Tory. We be talking all the time. But he know I dog Tory on that court.
So you ready for
Quavo is nice. Chris is nice. J. Cole is nice. Dirk is nice. I'm not saying they nicer than me, but they nice. But that's something I'm about to really get back into as well. Like when I get off tour, I done already tapped in with my old trainer, one of my old coaches. So as soon as I get off tour, I'm getting back in the gym to really get my game right, because I know these NBA All-Star celebrity games is coming up.
Yeah, we waiting for that.
Yeah, the Drew League next summer. So I'm about to go out there and drop 50 on somebody.
Are you gonna have a team in the Drew League?
Yeah, I'm working on it. If not the Drew League, the Crew League.
The Crew League. Sorry, I'm saying Crew League.
One of them. We coming on.
May this be the beginning of your NBA comeback. Here's a piece of paper.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Right here.
Okay, what we
Symba's
doing?
in the building.
What we doing?
Can we get?
That
wasn't fair.
We gotta run that back.
That was terrible.
It wasn't fair. Here we go. We're gonna run that back.
Don't put your money on that.
You ready?
Let's go.
Watch this now.
Come on, be careful. Yeah, let's get that train on the line.
The conditioning has to happen.
I'm a dunker.
But bro, man, thank you for the breath of fresh air that you were giving to the culture, man. It's real, it's authentic, it sticks to your ribs like you said, and you're creating these moments, man. Can't wait to see the next one.
Nah, thank y'all, man, and salute to y'all for everything y'all do for the culture as well. You know, us as artists, we gotta support our black media more, you know, and come through and rock with our people more. And I just salute y'all for everything y'all do for the culture as well.
Thank
and we salute you too, man.
Wait, last question,
Go
really quickly. What's your favorite DJ drama tape besides your own?
Can I say 2?
Yeah, go ahead.
Trap or Die and Dedication. Dedication 2.
Okay, Dedication 2. Let's go.
And it's the crazy part. It's gonna be a lot of new people. It's gonna be like, what's your favorite DJ drama tape? It's gonna be the one he did with Symba.
Yeah.
Results take time.
Come on.
Stream it everywhere where you getting your music from. If you see this man on tour, be sure you support him. And where can they find the dates?
Find me on you just check my Instagram. I got all the dates on there. You could Google, you know, the ADHD tour. Me and my boy Jordan Lucas.
Dope.
Follow me on all platforms at The Real Symba. That's Symba with a Y. TheRealSymba. And stay tuned, man. Results take time out right now.
There it is. One time, y'all, for Symba.
Hakuna Matata.
It means no worries.
We are the morning hustle.